accessing the information that are in books shouldn't be something that only the wealthy can afford. A book is a tool that I think everyone should have access to. So what I'm getting at is, I know books can be very expensive. They can really take a heavy hit on the wallet. You know, I've got some books here, and you know, if I didn't get these using some of the strategies I'm about to talk in this video, they would have costed a pretty penny. Luckily though, I know how to get books for pretty cheap, and sometimes I do buy them brand new, and I love the smell and, you know, the crisp spine ready to be snapped. Beautiful, beautiful. But there's also something romantic about getting a used book even. And in today's video, I'm going to be quickly running through 5 tips on how you can get books for a more affordable price. So I'm going to start off with the cheapest ways to get books and move to the more expensive ways. I didn't list the obvious, like just going to a bookstore and buying, you know, a brand new book, because that's not really affordable for a lot of people, unless you're only buying a book every once in a while. But if you like to read a lot, then this video is for you. Okay, so point number 5 is public or school libraries. If you still go to school, whether that be, you know, high school or greater education, such as university or college, then a school library is an amazing resource. Not only is there a bunch of books that you can access for free, depends on how you think about the fact that you might be paying a crazy amount in tuition, but, you know, try not to think about that. But you also have access to teachers that can discuss certain books with you. And some books that you can access in, especially greater education, school libraries, some of the books aren't really out there in the public domain. Some of them are, you know, some educational books that are really hard to find. Some of them are even thousands of dollars, but you have access to them just for the sake of being enrolled in that school. And then there are public libraries, which everyone can access. Usually you get a library card. Sometimes you need to pay for some libraries, I've heard, but I've personally never been to a paid public library. Usually they're free. You get a book card, you scan it, you can borrow 1 to 3 books on average. Usually have a few weeks to a month, and then you bring it back and get another book. And you can also put in requests for books you'd like to see in the store or authors you'd like to see. The only downside I feel to public libraries and school libraries is, and this might just be a personal thing for me, I collect my books as trophies, things I've read. I like to keep as a memento to, you know, that commitment that I made to read that book. And, you know, you can't really stack trophies if you need to give the books back, which is a shame, but I do think it's well worth the ability to access this information for free. If you can't afford to buy all the trophies that I do, I guess. Okay, number 4, this is a kind of free way to get books, is go to a book swap. You know, search up on Facebook or just on Google book swaps near me, and you just bring some of the books you've already read or books you don't plan on reading, and bring them there and see if you can do a little trade. You know, I'll give you these 2 books for that book, I'll give you this book for this book. And you can meet some amazing people in the reading and writing community that way as well, which I think is awesome. But it's also a great way to expand your mind, and often you'll be trading books with people who have read the books you're going to be receiving, so you can get an honest person-to-person review before you even make the commitment to read yourself. Okay, number 3, thrift stores, or op shops as we like to call them in Australia. Okay, so a thrift store is a place you can go. You've probably been there before. You can pick up pretty much anything, find some amazing bargains. But one of the things they do usually have is out the back they have, you know, a few bookshelves or sometimes a small library worth of books for about $1, $2, maybe $4 for some nice hardcovers. This is all in Australian prices, by the way, as I live in Australia. Conversion, I think 70 US cents is $1 Australian. So $1 here is only 70 cents in the US. You can probably pick up some books for 50 cents, just because 70 cents is a bit of an odd number. But yeah, there's so many books. Only downside, I think, is the fact that some of them, like when you're trying to look for a book, it can be very hard because some of the stores you might go to, they don't organize their book selection very well. But, you know, I think that's a okay price to pay for the cheap prices. Okay, so the next point. I'm not sure if I was counting up or down, so it's either 2 or 4. Anyway, the next point is ebooks. So I know there's something romantic, you know, you get out a book, oh, that's a squeaky chair, you open it up, you know, you smell the pages, you know, you flip through, you can read the blurb. If you get a second-hand book, you can see what little notes people have added. It's quite a joyous occasion. But if you're just looking to save some money, and there is the added convenience of accessing your whole library from one small device, which you can carry in your bag or your pocket. And there are all different types of e-readers. There's not just Kindles, and there's all types of Kindles as well. But you can buy e-readers that are smaller than a phone. You can buy massive e-readers. You can buy flip out e-readers, like all kinds of things out there. But ebooks, they usually go for maybe $4 on some deals, up to about $10, $12, and compared to the $20 or $30 or $35 that you're going to be spending in a bookstore, this is Australian money, by the way, you know, that's a pretty good bargain. And the last point, number 1 or 5, can't remember, is second-hand bookstores. So all of these books here, I picked up about 3 days ago from a second-hand bookstore. And, you know, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books here. I picked all of those up for $70. And I had an amazing conversation with the owner of the store as well. You know, what a steal. Now, yes, some of these books do have some wear and tear. This is the worst book in terms of condition. I'm not sure if you can see, but there is some damage. But to me, I quite like it. Honestly, it reminds me that a book isn't just a piece for education or just something that some snobby asshole was writing in his attic and published and now is a classic, you know. While I don't really think that's the case with a lot of them, there are definitely some authors out there that are probably like that. It's also a reminder that, you know, these books were owned by people. Someone sat and had a nice cup of coffee, you know, some orange juice. They were outside, maybe listening to the birds in the morning, or they were in bed, lying next to their wife. And, you know, they were opening these books and they were thinking about these books. Oh, I get to read more of this tonight, or, you know, something like that. And that to me is very special. And to be reminded of that is awesome. So I'm not too fussed on, you know, them being a little worn. So a second-hand bookstore is a little bit different to a thrift store. A thrift store sells a range of goods, while a second-hand bookstore only sells books. But this does mean that you can usually find a larger variety of books. And all of the books from a particular author are usually nicely put together. You don't have to search far and wide to find, you know. I'm personally a massive fan of Charles Dickens. I always look out for Charles Dickens' works when I'm out and about because I don't own them all. And in a thrift store, it can be quite tedious trying to find them. But here I found A Tale of Two Cities, his most popular work, hardcover with some beautiful illustrations inside. And how much did I pick that up for? $12. So what's that? $8.50, $9 American? That's pretty good for a massive hardcover, beautiful illustrations on the inside. You can also find some hard to find books or some, collectibles. So at this particular secondhand bookstore, they had a little glass case with more of their expensive books, their collector's editions, first editions, things like that. And I saw a book. It's a bit of a taboo book. A lot of people have a lot of things to say about it. I haven't personally read it. I have heard that it's quite full on, but Lolita is the book. But I saw a first edition copy there for about $250, which I thought was pretty cool, even if the book is, frowned upon. And it's just an example that in a lot of bookstores, secondhand bookstores, you might be able to find first edition copies of a range of types of books, not just Lolita. And books from a secondhand bookstore range from about $5 to $15. So it is more expensive than the previous things I said, but I think it's a great way if you do like trophies and, adding books to a collection, but you don't really want to spend the ludicrous prices that a new bookstore has. Go to a secondhand bookstore. Plus, you're supporting someone who, is usually their whole income is based around sourcing and selling these secondhand books. And I really think that is a valuable thing to do, and they are a valuable part of the community. I'm in a bit of a different environment right now. I'm up in Cairns, Australia. I usually live in the Sunshine Coast because I am going to Japan in 3 days. Holy shit. I'm so excited. It's like midnight right now, so I'm trying to be quiet. I'm visiting my mother. She's in the room just across from here. But yeah, I'm so excited. There's going to be tons of videos of me in Japan. Might do a couple of vlogs as well. I think that'd be fun. Bit of a different type of video than what I have been posting so far, but I have a feeling you guys would enjoy it. And I might be able to sprinkle some lessons in the vlog as well. Maybe make a themed vlog. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a comment and share. This is a new thing for me, YouTube, and every time you do that, it helps me out so much. And if you've created content before, you would understand that quite well. So please do if you got some value from this, and I hope to see you soon. Ciao.